start painting?
Yeah.
Is it filming?
It's filming now, yeah.
Okay.
Your first ever Orc.
Yes.
Hello, welcome to Wyvern Minis. Very warm welcome back if you've been here before and watched some videos. And hello if you haven't. Hope you like it and hope you'll come back again. Thanks very much is the first thing I need to say. Thank you to everyone for watching because the channel's growing quite quickly. I'm really pleased. Loads of views, lots of subscribers. It's great. If you do like what you see, I've just started a Patreon page. I'll put the link below. So if you want to go and click on that, that would be much appreciated. It will really help me to get a few more videos out a bit quicker and all that kind of stuff. And I'll be putting some more work in progress type things on there, a bit more discussion. So as always, you know, if you comment or let me know what you think, I'll try to respond to everything. But yeah, like and subscribe if you like the video. One of the reasons I started this channel was to kind of go over some hints and tips that I found for doing miniature building and painting, hobby type stuff while having young kids, because it's quite difficult to balance, you know, your time pressures and all that kind of stuff. But what's really nice is that now my eldest daughter is starting to enjoy playing Heroquest in particular. And the other day she made me a very proud dad by saying she wanted to paint her very first orc. So that was a real nice moment. So I straight away grabbed an orc and set her to work. So these orcs are the ones that I found to replace the ones in the main Heroquest game. And when I printed them out to start with, they're a bit too big. They need to be on 32mm bases really, because they've got quite wide stances. They're big chunky boys. And 32mm bases are a little bit too big for the Heroquest board, which is about 25mm squares. So not ideal for that, a little bit big. But I thought I'd keep them because I can use them for D&D or Warhammer or whatever, or in this case for a bit of painting training, which is really nice. I've printed them out, again, printed them out at 75% scale, which were a bit too small. So then I printed them out for the third time now, and they're just right. So I don't know, bit of a Goldilocks story going on there, but I think I've got them right now. Anyway, daughter is painting one of these big ones, which I think is better anyway, a little bit more, a bit easier to paint something that was a bit bigger, so she can see what she's doing. She chose the paints that she wanted to use. She wanted to use red and blue primarily because those are her favourite colours, and she just got on with it. It was great. I undercoated the model in Mechanicus Standard Grey spray paint, which is a good base for using any kind of acrylics over. I was originally intending to spray it with Wraithbone and perhaps use contrast paints to make it a bit easier, but then firstly I couldn't find the Wraithbone spray, and secondly I don't think using contrast would have been the right thing with her actually. It's much better to just get some regular paints and thin them down on the palette, because, you know, we're not going to worry about shades and highlighting and that kind of stuff. It's just the act of her getting used to putting a bit of paint on a model at the end of the day. So I'm quite glad that I couldn't find that spray paint in the end, because I think spraying it grey and doing it this way was a better solution anyway.
You can use this in your game.
Yeah.
And it will be lovely.
It is lovely. You're going to paint his face grey?
Yeah. It's an angry face, that is.
He has got an angry face, yeah. So yeah, I really enjoyed doing this with my daughter. She had a great time. I made one other mistake actually, which was with the wet palette. I thought, great idea, use the wet palette. She can take as long as she wants and we can keep the paints on there and all that. It's a nice little thing to use. But I thought, I'll take off the old greaseproof paper that I had on there because it was all dirty with my previous paintings, and give her a nice fresh piece. But I forgot to put the paper on. So we were putting the paint straight onto the sponge, and I was putting the paint on there, and I thought, why is this not working properly? It's like it's getting too dry or something, and it was just because all the water was getting absorbed into the bloody sponge. So, you know, we all make mistakes and forget things. As it was fine. You know, the paint washed out the sponge, no problem, just with a bit of water. And for the second session of painting, we put an actual new piece of paper on, and she gave me a right hard time about it, as 4-year-olds can. They don't forget things like that, which is quite funny. Forget everything else, but they won't forget when you make a cock up, and they won't let you forget it either. But yeah, really, really nice experience, and I think she's done a great job. Ended up with something which I think it looks okay. You know, I mean, she's only learning and all that kind of stuff, but it's a great start, and she can only get better from here. So we did a second painting session the following evening. You know, she's only young, so 10 or 15 minutes painting at a time is pretty good concentration for her. She decided that the swords needed to be red instead of green, but you know, whatever. You can see there are a couple of the other orcs. I started putting a bit of paint on them as well. Just, you know, thought it'd be nice to get a few of the orcs painted up so they looked good. But yeah, she's done really well. I'm very proud of her, and looking forward to getting more of them painted up.
How does that look?
That's looking really very lovely, actually. Yeah.
It's just what I needed.
Yeah, I think you need to get a little bit more in there, see? To see in there? The inside of his leg? Shall I hold it for you? Yeah, in there. Perfect. And then about a little bit on the outside there. Lovely. Bit there. There you go. And look, there's a little bit underneath his there, on his knee. Good job. Now what about that hat? Do you think he needs a bit more red in his hat? Yeah?
Just what I needed.
So it was a great experience doing this with my daughter. I would say that letting your kid loose with a paintbrush on a mini is a great idea. You might get a bit worried about if the mini gets ruined, but I mean, you can always repaint it, or you could get a new one if you desperately want to. It's certainly worth it for the amusing chats that you get out of the kids as they're painting, I think. Yeah, I mean, you might be a bit worried about spillages of paint as well, but using a wet palette like this means that there's far less chance for making a substantial mess. But she was really good, very careful. I was very impressed. I was also very impressed the other day when we played Heroquest again. This was with the same little group. One of the other dads from the games club and his 2 boys. They're a bit older than my daughter, but they're still quite young. And we played at the games club itself this time, which meets every other Saturday. So we set it all up, played quest number 3, which is the next one in line. It kept everything the same, you know, playing it as a campaign, so they all kept their gold and equipment from the previous couple of quests. And they were great. They played so well together. We had, from the expansions that I unboxed in the previous video, we had the extra dice, so that made it a little bit easier for playing the game. We had more dice to share between us, so it wasn't quite such a kerfuffle. But yeah, they did really well. The dwarf, played by the dad, got taken out right at the end, but they'd already completed their objective, so we said, okay, the barbarian can carry the unconscious dwarf back to safety, and he's now convalescing in the surgeon's quarters in the castle. So that's fine, you know, he'll be better for the next one. In the actual rules, you just have a new character turn up, and as long as they haven't lost their equipment, which they would do if they die on their own, surrounded by enemies. But that wasn't the case here. They had their mates with them. So yeah, we said it actually sounded better, I think, from a narrative point of view, to have the dwarf saved by the barbarian and taken back to the castle, which was great, you know. And it was even better that the barbarian managed to resist the urge to pick the dwarf's pockets on the way, which was quite a long debate. It reminded me of D&D days. But anyway, the barbarian resisted the urge in the end and left the dwarf's treasure where it was. But the dwarf then decided to share some of his treasure with the others, which was nice. So yeah, it just shows the game itself is very simple, suitable for kids, but you've got the extra sort of narrative element you can add into it. It's a bit like the Dungeons and Dragons adventure game that I've reviewed before. You can add in as much story as you want, really, and that's a lovely sort of thing to be able to do. So I'm really glad that she likes playing the game. It certainly means that this whole project of painting up some new models is worthwhile, and I'm going to continue doing that. I need a couple more things printed out, but I'm almost there, so I'll be getting on with that very soon. In the meantime, I thought I would just carry on painting a couple of these orcs just to get a feel for the models, because they're great. As I said, they are a little bit too big for the Heroquest board as it is, so I've got some smaller ones printed out ready to go. I'm certainly thinking about options for alternative boards, which could mean getting a neoprene mat with larger squares. Could mean printing out a whole new 3D Heroquest board, and I think that's probably going to be on the cards after getting some models painted up, because I've seen some really good options for that. So yeah, watch this space. Keep subscribed to the channel and you'll know when there's new videos coming up. If you want to click on the Patreon link below, like I said, I'll be having a few more work in progress updates on there, and also putting up some things like polls for what you'd like to see, you know, what sort of videos might interest you. So let me know, put some comments, subscribe to the video, subscribe to the channel, like the videos, and thanks a lot for watching. Again, thank you for everyone who's watched so far. The growth of the channel recently has been outstanding. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting some more painting done and some more videos out in the future. So thanks a lot. Goodbye.